Hey, it was good. Welcome to my underrated fight series where I talk about fights that are great but don't really get mentioned among some of the greatest fights that have taken place, like Ali Frazier or Gotti Ward or Barrera Morales. Today I will be talking about Evander Holyfield versus Dwight Muhammad Qawi. This fight took place on July 12th of 1986. I was debating on whether or not to do this fight because this fight is talked about, but only when discussing like Holyfield's legacy and discussing Holyfield's title victories, because this was Holyfield's first title fight, his first shot at the title. So I was debating on whether or not to talk about this fight, but I do believe that it does not get the respect that it deserves, because this fight is intense. This fight takes place at a pace that's just insane. I gotta say, man. This fight was so intense. In fact, Holyfield during this fight, a 23 year old Holyfield lost. He lost. Wait. Let me just say a little bit of background. Holyfield was coming from the Olympics. He won the bronze medal in a kind of a robbery type. He got disqualified for not following the referee's instruction. The referee is like stop, and he hit this guy with the left hook, knocked him out. Then he got disqualified. So he just had 11 fights, guys. 11 fights. This was his 12th fight, and he had never gone past the 8th round. And he was supposed to go in a 15 rounder with Dwight Muhammad Qawi, who was 33 years old, a seasoned veteran, a former two-weight division champion. He was a cruiserweight champion, or the junior heavyweight champion as it was called at that time, and the former light heavyweight champion who beat Matthew Sad Muhammad twice and had lost the title to Michael Spinks, but he had beaten Leon Spinks previously to defend his cruiserweight title. So this was his second defense of the cruiserweight title against Evander Holyfield. So there you already see the contrast. And there was already talks about Holyfield's stamina. He proved it in this fight. In this fight, it was so intense. Holyfield lost 15 pounds. 15 pounds during the fight, guys. During the fight, he lost 15 pounds. That's just how hard of a pace this fight was fought at. And he said, yeah, I lost 15 pounds. My spleen was messed up. But he said all he wanted to do was live. All he wanted to do in this fight was not die. And he's like, yeah, afterwards I won, but that was just a plus. This fight went at a crazy pace, man. You had Holyfield in the first few rounds trying to outbox him, but then I think at rounds 3 and 4 he realized, like, I'm gonna have to fight my way through this, and he fought his way through this. He fought his way through this with landing straight right, hard rights, left hooks, right uppercuts, hard uppercuts, beautiful uppercuts. But you had Qawi with his own shots, with his Joe Frazier style. You know, he's 5'6", bobbing and weaving beautifully. It was a very hard to hit as well. But he would land some solid shots on Holyfield too. Hard shots, guys. And the question was always there: can Holyfield go 15 rounds? Can Holyfield go 15 rounds? In rounds 4, Holyfield got hurt with the right hand, but he survived. Also in rounds 5, he got hurt again. And I think it was round 2 where it was this was nonstop action, guys. And they fought after the bell, and I think it was round 6 that they were fighting after the bell. Round 6, in which I gave to Holyfield, yeah, because at 6 I had it even. And the pace really never slowed down. when Holyfield would try to box, Qawi would just follow him and enter with these hard hooks in combinations. We're talking about combinations. And another fight where you don't see any clinching, guys. You don't see clinching. You don't really see much interference from the referee. You do hear warnings from low blows from Qawi, but you would kind of expect that from Qawi, who's 5'6" and a shorter guy, and of course you're gonna throw lots of body shots. Both of these guys threw a lot of body shots. So if you want to see a very good fight, that's also a high-paced and not a dirty fight at all. Not a dirty fight in any sense. Holyfield's criticized for being a dirty fighter, but he really didn't fight dirty at all. He fought hard, and both these guys fought very hard. They fought their hearts out, and that's for a reason that Holyfield lost all that weight, and he was probably extremely dehydrated as well to lose that much weight and just wanting to live. That's what he said, guys. I just want to live. And Holyfield, I think this fight is better than his fights against Tyson. And maybe one of the... Nah, I'm not going to say it's better than any of the Riddick Bowe fights, but I think it is better than both fights with Tyson, because those fights were pretty one-sided, and those were dirty fights. He got two of the most dirty fighters ever, Holyfield and Mike Tyson, so that's good. Those are going to be dirty fights. But this was not a dirty fight. It was, for the most part, a clean fight with two hard hitters, two future Hall of Famers. That's the beautiful thing right here. Two future Hall of Famers, one undefeated, but all he wanted to do was be a world champion. And this was only his 12th fight. He had a legendary career, a whole legendary career to follow him. Whole legendary career. And you just have to commend Holyfield for wanting to challenge himself that fast. His 12th professional fight. He was the first in the 1984 class, the Olympians, the U.S., to win a world title. And that class had Meldrick Taylor, Terrell Biggs, Mark Breland, and Pernell Whitaker, of course. How could I miss him? So that's probably the U.S.'s greatest Olympic team. And Holyfield, the one that got a bronze medal, was the first one to win a world title, and he definitely has the best legacy of all of those fighters that I mentioned above. So, guys, do yourself a favor and watch this fight. It's 15 brutal rounds. I mean, non-stop action. Just two guys giving them their all. Qawi just tried his heart out as well, but just could not win enough rounds. Could not pull it off. It just wasn't throwing enough, and he was landing some hard shots, but Holyfield would not go down. Neither would Qawi. Qawi has a huge heart as well. Both of these guys have a huge heart. They're both future Hall of Famers. Qawi is already a Hall of Famer. Holyfield's just not yet. He is in the Las Vegas Hall of Famer, but not into the International Boxing Hall of Fame just yet. I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, so go if you haven't watched this fight, go watch this fight. I did this fight because I know that a lot of the old school fans, you know about this fight and you've seen this fight and you already know that story about him losing all that weight and his kidneys being damaged. But us younger fans that really haven't seen that many fights, we don't know about these fights. That's why I'm doing this series. That's why I do these series, and that's why I do my underappreciated fighter series, so we could all learn from something. We could all be learning, and we could have a dialogue, because it doesn't matter what age we are. We could all learn from each other, no matter what. That's what this whole social media thing is about, guys. Just learning from each other and about the great history of boxing. That's why we're here, and about other stuff, So thank you for watching. I appreciate every one of you. I appreciate your comments and everything, man. Appreciate you guys, all your guys' support. Thank you once again for watching. And don't forget to sub if you already haven't subbed. Peace.